Hey everyone, it's Amy, Old Book New Look. Today is Wednesday, December 7th, 2011. I think I'm 19 weeks post-op this week. I think. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. I'll give you some numbers. This week on Monday, I weighed in at 211 pounds. Let's see. Oh, it was 211.5, which was, I think, it was a little more than a 2-pound loss from the week before. So that's going well. I thought what I'd do today is give you guys a tour of my kitchen. Just so you can see the type of foods that I consistently keep in stock and just the things that I'm eating. I thought that would be a good thing to do. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring you into my kitchen. Let's start with the fridge. Alright, here's my fridge. Point out the things that I eat. Keep in mind I live with my husband and daughter, so there are foods in here that I do not eat that they do. Up here, I don't use this, but I use the reduced fat feta cheese. I'll use these in my salads. These are leftovers that my husband made. It looks like it's ham, rice, and corn. I don't eat that, but let's see. I'll eat this once in a while, unsweetened applesauce. It was very good for when I was freshly post-op during that period stage. Put a little unflavored protein powder in there with it, so I was getting some protein. I sometimes use this in some of my Mexican dishes. Fat-free sour cream. I use this, as you guys probably know already, because I've said it before, I'm a sauce person. I like sauces, give good flavor. I use buffalo sauce in some of my salads. I'll mix some buffalo sauce up with some chicken and throw it in the salad. Stats are really good on it. There's like, I don't know what's in it because, well, it's got some sodium in it. There you go. And potassium. But there's no calories, no fat, no carbs, no protein. It's just sodium and potassium, apparently. I don't use that much of it. I just use it for a little flavor here and there. Got some sugar-free grape jam that I used in a recipe. These are my daughter's. She likes her little Chobanis. But I did use these when, during the pureed stages, when I was getting sick of having plain Greek yogurt with, you know, Splenda, or sometimes I would do plain low-fat Greek yogurt, and I'd mix it with some Crystal Light for some flavoring. I kind of got sick of that after a while, and my nutritionist said it was alright for me to try some of these. They do have a little bit of sugar in them, but it's not... It looks like it's natural sugar. It's not. Sugar is not one of the primary 3 ingredients, which is what my nutritionist tells me I need to stay away from, is making sure, I need to make sure that the foods I eat don't have sugar within the first 3 ingredients on the label. But what I eat now, so those are for my daughter for school, but what I eat now is I do the normal Chobanis. Same thing with these, that sugar is not the primary one of the first 3 ingredients. I can't eat an entire one of these. And what I do is I'll mix a little bit of the fruit that's on the bottom into the yogurt, but the most of it stays on the bottom, and I don't eat most of the stuff that is on the bottom. I don't use that. That's for my family. I use these a lot. As you can see, I keep them well stocked, but they're sugar-free Jell-O pudding cups. I was making my own pudding using the box, you know, the powder that's in the box, but what would happen is I can't eat more than like this amount. So I would have like 6 servings within one box that I made of the pudding, and I noticed that what would happen is after a couple days the pudding would start to break down and get all watery, and I just didn't like that. So I ended up switching to these pre-made cups, and that doesn't happen with these, so I use these now. I still have a ton of the powder, and I might make it once in a while, but a lot of it goes to waste because I don't like eating mushy watery pudding. So anyway, in the back there's an Isopure. I used those after surgery when I was kind of adjusting and figuring out what protein was going to work for me. That's been sitting there since then. I haven't used it, but so there's an Isopure. Next to that is some sugar-free Jello, not the pudding, but the Jello back there. I'm not really into those much anymore either, but I keep them back there just in case I feel like changing things up and having something different. I don't really use this is 1% milk. This is mostly my husband and daughter drink this. I don't use it too much. I might use a splash of it if I'm making myself some diet Swiss Miss or some decaf coffee. I might put a splash of milk in it. But I mostly use my soy milk. I love my soy milk. It's light, original, silk soy milk. That's what I use for my protein shakes. I use 12 ounces of soy milk and 2 scoops of my protein powder. I don't drink the orange juice. That's for my husband and daughter. I've been eating a lot of fruit lately. Still concentrating on making sure I get all of my protein in every day. But in addition to that, I've started adding more fruit and vegetables into my diet, especially fruit. I hadn't been doing too much with fruit, other than maybe apples. I'd share an apple with my daughter here and there. But this week I started adding in grapes, and they've been doing really well. I've been having grapes with the cheese that I eat, and here's the cheese that I've been having. I love this cheese. It tastes so good. But here's what it looks like. It's a 10-ounce block of salsa jack cheese. I really, really like the taste and flavor of this. It is not a low-fat cheese. I don't eat a lot of it. I eat maybe 2 ounces a day or less than that, so I might not have it every day. But when I do eat it, I don't eat more than 2 ounces in a day. So it is higher on the fat count, but all the other stats are good. The protein to calorie ratio is really good. But I really, really like the taste of it. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing 2 ounces of cheese and some grapes for lunch. I'm really enjoying that. What else do we have in here? Here's some of my salads. Sometimes I'll buy a head of lettuce, like some leafy green or some romaine, and use my food saver so that it doesn't go bad too quickly. But other times I might, if the head lettuce isn't looking that fresh, I might grab a bag, and that's what I did. I got a spring mix this week. And I use this as protein in my salads. This is, deli turkey. I like this brand the best. You know how sometimes when you get deli turkey and after a few days it starts congealing and you've got like this weird jelly on it? I don't like that. That doesn't happen to this, so that's why I buy this. I'll take some slices and put them in my salad for my protein. Other times I'll use chicken. I don't use the juice, obviously. I don't drink juice. This is chop suey that my husband made for him and my daughter, and he makes, we both actually make our own meals on the weekend and then use what's left over for lunches for the week at work. So this is his lunch for the week at work, and this is mine. I made meatballs this week. You probably can't really see in them, but there's about 4 mini meatballs per container. I've portioned them all out, and back here too. So that's my lunch for the week. That's stuff I don't eat. This is our kind of like cheese drawer, sort of. I might use this in salads. Sometimes I make, I call them cheese crackers out of them. But you put them, what you do is you put a sheet of either parchment paper or wax paper in the microwave. You take a pinch of your cheese and put it into piles on the paper, and then you nuke them. You gotta keep an eye on them, but I end up usually doing about 45 to 60 seconds, depending on how big you make the piles. They'll turn, they'll melt, and then they'll turn slightly brown without getting burned, and that's when they're done. Take them out and let them cool down, and they turn into like a crispy, almost like a chip. And You know, if you're having like a salty, you need like a salt fix or something, you know, salty crunchy fix, then that's a good high protein snack to do. You can do the same thing with turkey pepperoni, which I love turkey pepperoni. I'll eat it plain. I'll put it in my salads. The reason I love it so much is because for 17 slices, you have 70 calories and 9 grams of protein. That's an awesome calorie to protein ratio. So I'll use those as a snack, and I'll do the same thing. I'll put them on some parchment paper. In my microwave, it takes a minute and 20 seconds, and then they're done. You pull them out, you let them cool down, and they get crispy like a chip. So I'll do that, or I'll just have them plain, or I'll put them in my salads for my protein in my salads. These are actually my daughter's, but I could eat them too if I wanted to. But these are just reduced fat cheese sticks, and I've got some Baby Bells in here. These are the light Baby Bell cheeses. I'm not too crazy about them. They're not bad or anything. They're not my favorite. But I keep them in here. They're good for a snack on the go. And then this is my veggie drawer. I've got different veggies that I might use to put in salads. Onions and peppers and cucumbers and carrots. We'll take a look at the condiments that I use. I do use real bacon bits in my salads. Yes, I use real bacon. Real bacon isn't bad for you if you use it in moderation. For a tablespoon, which is about how much I use in my salads, you have 25 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, and 0 carbs, and 2 grams of protein. Just gives the salad some extra flavor. I like it. You guys know I'm a sauce person. I like my sauces. I use A1 pretty consistently on some meat. If I want to add a little flavor, a little spicy kick to my meat, I'll use some A1. Let's see. I don't use these. This is my favorite salad dressing. Bolthouse Farms makes some awesome yogurt-based salad dressings. This one's my favorite, the ranch. The nutritional stats on them are really good, especially compared to other salad, normal salad dressings. So I've got a whole bunch of them. This is the blue cheese yogurt-based one. This is Thousand Island. This one's honey mustard. They taste delicious is the thing, and the nutritional stats are really good for tasting so good. I use taco sauce like there's no tomorrow. I love taco sauce. I use it on a lot of things. I use it in my lentils. I use it on my eggs. I use it I use it a lot. In my salads, I'll mix a little bit of taco sauce with a little bit of my ranch dressing, and then you get like a Mexi ranch type dressing. Okay, moving on. What else do I use in here? I like myself some spicy brown mustard. I use this. I could use regular peanut butter, but I don't. I use this instead. I like the taste of this better. It really does, to me, taste better than peanut butter. What I use this for is if I'm sharing an apple with my daughter, I will put some of this on our plate, and we'll dip our apple slices into this, because that way it gives me some protein. If I'm eating an apple, I get a little bit of protein in it, and it just tastes good. So that's what I use. The nutritional stats are way better than regular peanut butter. Alright, take a look at my freezer real quick. What do I use in here? I use these. Oop. Avalanche. Okay. I use these, what are these? Purdue Simply Smart Original Grilled Chicken Strips. They come frozen. They're handy because if you're like me, like I like to have some plain chicken to put in my salads, but I don't want to cook a whole bunch of chicken that my family may or may not use, because they kind of plan different meals. We don't eat the same things. Sometimes we coordinate on things, like if they want to do spaghetti one night, then I'll make some meatballs to go with it, and I'll just eat the meatballs and they'll eat the spaghetti and meatballs. Other nights they might plan something completely different, like that ham and rice and corn that was in the fridge. That night I planned something completely different for myself. So anyway, these are good to have because you can keep them in the freezer and they're not going to go bad. So you can grab what you need when you need it, and you don't have to worry about using up a whole package of chicken, fresh chicken that you cooked. You know what I mean? So I keep those in there. I do not eat these. Things that my family eats that I don't. What else do I eat in here? Well, you know, veggies and stuff, so I eat those. Edamame. I love edamame. It's, yeah, just soybeans. And these ones are good because, like I said, it's not something that I eat all the time, so every once in a while, if I feel like having some edamame, they're really, really good protein. I sprinkle a little bit of sea salt on them and they taste really good. They come in little plastic packages that you put in the microwave so it steams them really well. It's really good. There isn't really anything else in here that I use. I think I've got somewhere buried in there, I've got some shrimp. I'm not really huge on shrimp. Some people really like shrimp post-op. I'm not huge on it, but I do have it in the freezer so I can grab a few if I'm in the mood. And I don't have to worry about buying it fresh and wasting it if I don't eat it all. In there somewhere I've got some Morningstar Farms products, which I like a lot. They're more vegetarian products, but you can keep them frozen. You don't have to worry about using them up in a certain amount of time. In here, this is where my protein powders live. This is the protein powder I use every day. It's the chocolate flavored 100% whey protein from GNC. This is the one that has worked the best for me. 20 grams of protein per scoop. So like I said, I do the 12 ounces of light soy milk and 2 scoops of my protein powder. It gets me 49 grams of protein. I usually do that after I work out for the day. Got my unflavored unguri and my chicken soup flavored unguri. The chicken soup one I don't use as much now. I used it more in the first month or so after surgery, but it's still good to have on hand. And the unflavored I do use pretty consistently. I'll mix it into soups or applesauce. You know, anything that I'm eating that is something that I can mix unflavored protein powder in to get more protein into it. That's what I use that for. Alright, so over here is the bread corner. We've got the bread box and bagels and stuff that my husband and daughter eat that I don't. I do use this a lot. This is made by 4C. It is decaffeinated iced tea mix, and it's made with sweetened with Splenda. So this is what I've been using in my water. I do drink plain water, but especially when I was freshly post-op, plain water would make me nauseous when I drink it. And it still does sometimes, but I am able to drink more and more plain water. However, I do find that I can drink more if I can drink more water if I have it flavored. For some reason, it's just easier for me to get down still. So this is just a powder. It's iced tea, decaffeinated, sweetened with Splenda. That's what I use mostly. A lot of people like Crystal Light. For some reason, after surgery, Crystal Light just didn't taste as good to me anymore, so I don't use that as much. I use this more. We've got our Pam sprays, which I use when I'm cooking. Alright, so this here is my pantry slash laundry area. You can see I have my laundry there. But I also use this as kind of a pantry area. So here you're going to see more stuff that my family eats that I don't. But I'll point out the things that I do eat. I could eat these things. These are no sugar added fruit cups and applesauce. just natural juices in the fruit cups. I suppose I could eat that stuff, but I don't. My daughter takes it to school for her snacks. I don't eat this, don't eat that. This is more that sugar-free jelly that I used for a recipe. I eat beans, garbanzo beans. Might use this in a recipe. Fat-free refried beans. I kind of lived on these when I was in that pureed food stage. Don't really use it so much anymore, but it's good to have on hand. I use this. This is canned chicken. I make chicken salad out of it. I don't use that. Don't use that. Don't use that. Taco seasoning I might use in a recipe. Don't use mac and cheese, obviously. Do not use. I use this once in a while for seasoning. If I'm making hamburgers or, I don't know, something. I use this as seasoning for any kind of meat type recipe. So meatloaf or something. No, I haven't used it for meatloaf, I lie. Hamburgers really is what I use this for. I'll use it for seasoning, to season my hamburgers. It's Hidden Valley Ranch, but it's just the dry seasoning packets. So the stats are good on it. Adds some good flavor. I have used this in the past. If I don't have a lot of time to make something for work, I might open a can of this and put about half a cup. You know, I use about half a cup at a time. This is canned canned chili. The stats aren't bad on it. They're not super great, but it's something that I can eat and I can use if I wasn't able to plan ahead like I normally do. Lentils. I've used lentils. I love lentils. They're great. Excellent protein. I don't use this, but I could. It's no sugar added pineapple chunks. Got my backup taco sauce because I use so much of it. Powerade Zero I tried. I'll use this at some point. So that's hanging out there. Same thing with the Vitamin Water Zeros. They're okay. I'm not crazy about them, but yeah, I'll use them at some point. That cereal and pasta I don't use. That's for my husband and daughter. I may use the spaghetti sauce though if I make some meatballs. We got cereal. Popcorn. My daughter likes to have that for snack. My husband eats the granola bars. I do use the oats though. I use oatmeal as a replacement for breadcrumbs in recipes. So if I'm making meatloaf or meatballs, I will use quick oats instead of breadcrumbs. And honestly, I really don't miss the breadcrumbs at all. Tuna's for me, and my husband eats it too. My daughter once in a while. She's not crazy about it. There's crunchy peanut butter and smooth peanut butter. That's my husband. Yeah, that's my husband. And then I've got some quick oats and some regular oats. That's crackers and goldfish and Cheez-Its. My daughter might use those once in a while, and my husband. Let's see. Top shelf, we've got reduced sugar ketchup that I might use if I'm making a recipe like a meatloaf or something. I might use some reduced sugar ketchup. I've got Better Than Boyan. There was one in the fridge, the beef flavored one's in the fridge. This one's a chicken one. I used that when I was freshly post-op in the month or so after surgery. Don't really use it too much now. I use these. These are Tuna Creations. They're flavored tuna fish in pouches. This one's lemon pepper. This one's sweet and spicy, I think. This one's, I think my husband picked this one up. It's just regular in olive oil. I don't know. I'll let him eat that one. I don't need the olive oil. Don't eat any of that. Got my Splenda back there. My husband uses these. I don't use them just because they have caffeine in them, and I avoid caffeine. Crystal Light. I have in case I want it, although I haven't really been using it. Here's all those sugar-free pudding mixes that I don't really use much anymore. I haven't used these in a long time, but I picked them up. I haven't tried them in a long time. I might try them again soon, but it's sugar-free decaffeinated French vanilla cafe. So I might give that a try again. It smells good. And that's just stuff that my daughter, raisins and craisins and stuff. Alright, so, is there anything else that I use? Yeah, come on over here. Here we've got our Keurig. My husband uses this every day. He's kind of gotten into coffee. He never really drank coffee, and then all of a sudden he decided he wanted to. So he uses this every day. Every once in a while, maybe once a week or less than that, I'll have some decaf coffee. So we've got some decaf in here, and I also I'll use this if I want. Every once in a while I get a craving for hot chocolate. So I use the Diet Swiss Miss. It's got good stats on it. Let's see. For one envelope, it's 25 calories, no fat, 2 grams of sugar, 2 grams of protein. So it's not terrible. I mean, it's hot chocolate, so you're not looking at it as a source for protein anyway. But, you know, it's something at the end of the day, if I take a bath or something and I want to relax with some hot chocolate in the bath, that's what I do. That's it. Sorry this video's so long, but I kind of wanted to take you guys on a tour to see kind of what I eat. That's about it. There's a lot. Like I said, I live with my husband and daughter, and they, I think they eat pretty healthy, but they do eat more processed foods than I will. And so there's a lot of that stuff around the house, you know, the breads and the pastas and the rices, and the crackers and all that stuff that I don't eat that they do. And honestly, I can say that I don't have a problem with it being around me. So there's like a huge tub. Look at this. There's like a huge tub of party mix. My husband likes to make party mix. His grandmother made it all the time around Christmas time and the holidays. So he makes it now. And so he made a huge tub of it. Got all his party mix making done. And so now there's a huge tub of it here. So anyway, what else? I'm just finding more stuff that I use on a regular basis. These are apples, oranges. I have not tried a banana yet. This one's for my daughter. But I have eaten the oranges and the apples, and those work really well for me. Hey guys, it's Amy, Old Book New Look. I just wanted to, I just got back from Zumba and I realized that I forgot to talk about one food that I do use, and I just wanted to mention because it's something that I think is good to have on hand, and that is my pure protein bars. So this is what they look like, pure protein. The stats on them are pretty good as far as other bars that you could find out there, but they're for one bar it's 180 calories, 4.5 grams of fat, 2 grams of sugar, and 20 grams of protein. Now I do not eat these too often. I mean, but what I do use them for is kind of like emergency ration. Like, I always keep one in the car, and I usually carry one in my purse with me, especially if I'm going somewhere where I'm not sure what the food choices are going to be. That way I know that no matter what, if there's nothing available to me, if it's time for me to eat and I don't have anything else that I feel comfortable eating, I know I can always grab a protein bar. I don't use them even weekly, really. That's really all I use them for, is in case of emergency. But I think they're a good thing to have on hand for that purpose. You know, 20 grams of protein, I know I'm getting my protein in. I don't have to refrigerate them. They're not gonna go bad. You know, they're like wrapped, individually wrapped, so they're easy to take with you. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. They're called Pure Protein. I get the chocolate ones. I've gotten the peanut butter ones. The peanut butter ones have a little more fat in them, I think. But I like the chocolate ones best anyway. I get them at my grocery store. You can get them in a lot of different places. But if you're looking at protein bars, and I mean there are a lot of protein bars out there that are just they have too much sugar or and way too much fat or both. These ones are pretty good. These are the best ones that I've been able to find. And their consistency is kind of like an extra firm Three Musketeers bar. Pretty much is what their consistency is like. So it's not a lot of like chunks that you have to worry about really chewing. It comes apart really well in your mouth, and yeah. Anyway, I think they're great. That's it, guys. That's what's going on in my kitchen. Here, I'll end this video with a little Christmas cheer. That's our tree. Yay! And here's our stockings. Here are our stockings. And there are our little Christmas toys. So anyway, you guys have a great week. I'll talk to you next week. Take care. Bye. Mwah.